Chosen one. The morning you've stepped into is not ordinary. This is not just another Sunday, it is the turning of divine pages in your story. The air itself feels different because heaven has whispered, "Now, somewhere in the unseen realm, your name was spoken with authority." And creation responded, "The light that touches your face carries purpose." The same hands that painted sunrise have written this day for your awakening. You've walked through weeks where silence felt endless, nights when prayer sounded like an echo in an empty cave. You asked, "God, have you forgotten me?" But he hadn't. The silence was never punishment, it was the soil of preparation. When a seed goes into the ground, the world calls it buried, but heaven calls it planted. You were not forgotten. You were being rooted. Now, the dawn calls your name. Heaven has opened its gates. And this Sunday is the first day of the rest of your destiny. What you couldn't see in the dark will begin to make sense in the light. The Word of God declares in the book of Lamentations, chapter 3, verses 22 and 23. Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. Do you feel that? Every ray of light today carries mercy renewed. Every breath you take is proof that grace was not exhausted yesterday. Heaven is saying, start again. There was once a man named Elias, a quiet soul who spent years praying for direction. Every Sunday, he sat in the same church pew, whispering, "Use me, Lord." Nothing seemed to happen. But one morning, on a Sunday just like this one, a stranger approached him after service and said, "God told me to tell you, your waiting season ends today." That encounter opened doors he never imagined. He started a shelter that would feed hundreds. And later he said, "It didn't happen suddenly. It was always growing underground." You, too, are standing in that hidden miracle. The unseen has been working on your behalf while you were still. Like the tide rising beneath the surface, your blessing has been quietly gathering momentum. And now, heaven says, step into the water. There, your Sunday miracle isn't arriving from outside, it's unfolding from within. You are the vessel through which heaven releases what it has prepared. This is not coincidence. This is divine orchestration. Maybe life has felt like a field after fire, empty, blackened, stripped, but even ashes make the soil richer. The next bloom will rise stronger because of what was burned. You thought you were losing ground, but you were gaining depth. The fire refined what the harvest will reveal. Look around the world, seems ordinary, yet everything listens. Angels hover close, awaiting heaven's command concerning you. In the courts of glory, your file has been opened. The words, approved for release, have been spoken. And this is your cue to rise. Stretch your faith. Speak out loud where you are. This is my morning of mercy. When you do, the atmosphere shifts. Heaven loves bold declarations. They echo like thunder in the spirit. You are not behind. You are not late. You are right on time. What once seemed delayed will now accelerate. The divine calendar never miscalculates. So take a moment and let gratitude fill your lungs. Inhale the faithfulness that greets you at dawn. You are proof that compassion still flows, that mercy still renews, that God still writes beautiful beginnings from broken places. If you can feel this message resonating deep within, Respond in faith. Tap the heart. Share this light with another chosen one who might need a sign that heaven hasn't gone silent. And in the comments, write 333, the number of divine renewal and resurrection, to declare that you receive this morning as holy. Heaven watches what you release in faith. Every act of belief becomes a seed that multiplies in return. Your Sunday miracle has already begun. The day has only started, yet eternity has moved for you. Every sunrise from now on will remind you that heaven still remembers your name. What once felt forgotten will now bloom in plain sight. You are walking proof that divine compassion can rewrite even the hardest chapters of life. The same voice that called galaxies into existence now calls you forward. Do not look back. The past was a classroom, not a prison. Lift your eyes, your next breath carries destiny. Today will mark you differently. You will notice doors open softly, conversations shift, favor appearing where rejection once stood. Heaven is quietly rearranging everything around you in your favor. Let gratitude be your language this week. Speak blessing. Move gently. Listen for God in small things. This is how miracles mature, through steady hearts and grateful souls, ready to live what they prayed for. The silence that wrapped around your waiting heart begins to tremble. In the realm you cannot see, heaven has already moved. The announcement has been made before the throne, your name spoken, your timing confirmed. What happens now is not coincidence but divine correspondence. Heaven is answering an ancient promise. Angels move like wind, unseen, yet undeniable. Their wings brush against the edges of time, carrying scrolls sealed with purpose. Each scroll holds an instruction, a release, a record of prayers once whispered in the dark. They descend in radiant order, surrounding the earth with quiet thunder. When heaven announces a thing, no earthly power can reverse it. The world may still look still, but movement has begun, like roots splitting stone beneath the soil. What was hidden now presses upward. The decree has gone out. It is time. Now, somewhere, someone is being stirred to bless you without knowing why. Somewhere, a door is unlocking, and the key has your fingerprint. The machinery of destiny turns, silent but certain. Heaven's announcement is not shouted, it is whispered in authority. When God speaks, even silence obeys. Ancient scripture reminds us in the book of Daniel, chapter 10, verse 12, "Do not be afraid, for from the first day you set your heart to understand and to humble yourself before God. Your words were heard, and I have come because of your words." That's the rhythm of heaven, instant hearing, appointed arrival. You spoke, heaven moved. But the delivery followed divine timing. Angels were dispatched the moment you prayed. Yet warfare in unseen places delayed the arrival. Still, they never stopped coming. The announcement made in heaven never loses power. It travels until fulfillment. You may recall a season when everything felt suspended, like a pause in the middle of a song. You kept listening for the next note, but it never came. What you didn't know was that the orchestra of heaven was tuning its instruments. The conductor was waiting for the right breath in time. And now, the baton has been raised again. In the unseen, there is sound, a soft hum of alignment. Heaven is synchronizing events, people, and opportunities to form one perfect moment. What seemed like delay was choreography. There was once a young woman named Thalia who had prayed for years for her family's restoration. Her father left when she was 12, and bitterness filled every space where love should have lived. But one morning, while washing dishes, she felt an unexplainable warmth across her shoulders. She froze. Tears began to fall without reason. Later that day, her father called. "I don't know why," he said, "but I woke up wanting to come home." She didn't know it yet, but heaven had announced it long before. The timing simply reached her world. When heaven announces, the earth adjusts, shadows shift. Even the heart of stone becomes soft clay. What you thought was random was part of a carefully orchestrated unveiling. Every divine announcement comes with evidence, subtle signs that follow those who believe. Perhaps you felt unusual restlessness lately, an ache you can't name. That's often how heaven's announcements sound to the soul, a low vibration of something about to be revealed. Your spirit recognizes what your eyes can't yet see. Listen, the sound is closer now, a whisper moving through morning air. It is coming. The angels assigned to your journey have begun to gather the pieces, resources, connections, reconciliations, healing. Some of these will appear quietly, disguised as ordinary moments, but they are not ordinary. The difference between coincidence and calling is perception. You will know the difference because peace will walk in first. Heaven's announcement is not for noise, it's for order. When God speaks, everything that was confused begins to settle. Clarity will start to flow like light through glass. You will sense direction where you once felt fog. The Spirit has sounded the trumpet not in a storm, but in stillness. The same stillness that rested over the waters before creation is now hovering over your life again, preparing to say, "Let there be." End of 4. No more striving. No more forcing open what was never locked. You will not need to knock with desperation. Heaven has already turned the handle from the other side. In the coming days, you will sense confirmation through subtle things, a phrase you overhear, a song lyric, a quiet thought you can't shake. That's heaven echoing its announcement through earthly symbols. Nothing is random anymore. Every moment is an answer, disguised. So, breathe deeply. Let stillness become your agreement. The announcement has already been made. The rest of your journey is simply catching up to what heaven has declared. Heaven has already declared your season. And now, creation itself bends to obey. The invisible begins to take form. The spoken word becomes flesh. You are stepping into a story already written, walking inside a promise that cannot fail. It is unfolding now. You remember the weight, the heaviness that clung to you like fog after rain. There were nights you wanted to disappear beneath the silence, to hide from the ache of carrying too much. No one saw the invisible war you fought, how you smiled while something inside you was breaking. Yet heaven saw. Every tear that fell without witness became a seed planted in eternity's soil. You've carried more than most, and still, you stand. You walked through seasons when strength wasn't strength, it was survival. There were moments you didn't know if you'd see another sunrise. And yet here you are. That alone is proof of divine preservation. You didn't just endure, you were being refined. The Spirit once spoke through the book of Psalms, chapter 30, verse 5, "Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning." And the morning has come. There was a man named Jonah not the prophet, but an ordinary man with an extraordinary burden. He spent years working in silence, providing for others, while his own dreams collected dust. One night, he told God, "If you still see me, give me a sign." The next morning, a stranger handed him a coffee cup with 3 words printed on it: "You are seen." It was small, but it was everything. Jonah wept, not because of the cup, but because heaven had answered in language only he would understand. So many of your burdens were never punishment, they were preparation. Heavy loads create stronger hands. The weight you carried trained your spirit to recognize truth and reject imitation. The darkness was never meant to destroy you. It was designed to show you the fire that burns within you. Think about it. Gold cannot shine until it's placed in fire, and the potter cannot shape the vessel without pressure. What you called pain, heaven called process. Every scar is an autograph of grace. Even now, heaven whispers, "Lay it down. The weight is not yours to carry anymore. Let peace take its rightful place. You've done your part now. Let the divine exchange happen." When you release what burdens you, heaven releases what blesses you. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture yourself walking barefoot on a field after rain. The earth is soft beneath you, and the horizon glows like promise. You drop the stones you've carried in your hands. One by one, each one sinks gently into the soil, and the earth swallows them with compassion. The moment your hands are empty, the wind rises, and you realize freedom feels lighter than fear. The story of every chosen one includes a breaking. The crushing was never the end, it was the birthing. You were being shaped for something that requires this depth of empathy, this understanding of pain. Only those who have walked through the valley can guide others out of it. Now, your strength is different. It no longer comes from proving your worth, but from knowing you are already chosen. The approval you once chased now lives within you. And with every breath, heaven restores what sorrow tried to steal. This is the moment to release, to forgive what hurt you, to bless what left you, to breathe again without guilt. The world may not understand, but the heavens do. They have recorded every act of endurance, every whispered prayer, every midnight surrender. And now they echo the same decree: joy is coming alive within you. You are no longer the person who entered the storm. You are the one who learned how to dance in it. Before you leave, take one bold step of faith. Comment, "Light wins." Long. Do it not for me, but for your own spirit. It's a declaration that darkness has lost its grip, that your inner dawn has finally broken. When you type those 2 words, you seal your agreement with heaven that from this day on, joy will always have the final word. Every trial you endured was not wasted. It became the architecture of your strength. The cracks in your story are not flaws. They are windows through which God's light now shines. What once broke you now becomes proof that grace can rebuild anything surrendered. When you type those words, "Light wins," heaven heard it as worship. It was more than a comment. It was covenant. In that small act of faith, you aligned your soul with victory, declaring that no shadow can outlast a heart reborn in light. Carry this awareness into your days ahead. Notice how peace follows you into rooms that once felt heavy. The same God who lifted you will use your story to lift others. You are no longer just surviving. You are now a messenger of restoration. Every sunrise will now speak your name. The light that once seemed distant will follow you faithfully, reminding you that victory is not coming, It's here, alive, breathing within you now. There are moments when heaven seems to move too slowly. Moments when your prayers echo back without sound. You have wondered if God's clock runs behind yours, if divine timing means divine delay. Yet, in the stillness, something greater has been forming. Timing was never your enemy, it was your teacher. You see, every miracle has a rhythm. The ocean does not rush its tides, nor does the seed hurry to bloom. Heaven's timing is precise, measured not by seconds, but by surrender. Every "not yet" from God carries more mercy than a premature "yes." Ainsi, the prophet once wrote in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 11, "He has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also set eternity in the human heart. Yet no one can fathom what God has done from beginning to end." Ainsi, there is beauty even in the wait. You may not see it, but heaven does. Every unanswered prayer, every quiet night, every pause, it all builds something eternal inside you. Waiting trains your faith to trust beyond sight. Think of Joseph, sitting in an Egyptian prison after being betrayed by his own brothers. He must have asked the same question you have. Why this long? But every day behind bars prepared him for the day he would rule over the very land that confined him. The dream didn't die. It matured in the darkness. Sometimes, heaven hides your blessing so that the wrong hands can't touch it. Sometimes, the delay is protection disguised as disappointment. What you call waiting, heaven calls weaving. Every strand of circumstance being braided together to form a story that will make sense only in hindsight. You have prayed for acceleration, but perhaps God was slowing you down because he knew that speed without stability collapses. He was teaching you how to walk on water, not run on waves. The waiting room is holy ground. That's where roots grow deep, where identity is refined. The chosen ones learn patience not through ease, but through endurance. You were never waiting in vain. You were being positioned. Picture a mountain climber who reaches a ledge and must pause before the final ascent. The pause isn't punishment, it's preservation. The air at higher altitude is thinner. The body needs to adapt before it climbs further. Likewise, heaven pauses your ascent not to deny you, but to strengthen you for what comes next. You've asked, when will it happen? But the truer question is, who am I becoming while I wait? Because when the promise finally arrives, you'll realize the wait wasn't wasted. It was sacred construction. Imagine a vineyard. Before the grapes can produce their richest wine, they must endure seasons of pruning. The vines are cut back. The soil is turned. And for a while, nothing seems alive. Yet underneath, roots deepen, and strength multiplies unseen. That's what heaven has been doing with you, quietly fortifying your spirit for the abundance ahead. And there will be abundance. The delay will end, not with a whisper, but with a flood. Suddenly, what took years to prepare will unfold in moments. You will stand in awe, realizing that God was never slow, he was exact. This revelation will shift you from frustration to faith. You'll begin to see divine timing in every detail, the closed door that forced you down a better path, the missed opportunity that protected your heart, the unanswered prayer that saved your destiny. Every step was ordered, nothing was random. There was once a woman named Raina who prayed for healing from a long illness. For years, nothing changed. Then one morning, she woke up with peace, so strong it silenced her fear. The healing came gradually, but the peace came first, and that peace became her miracle. She later said, "I realized God didn't delay my healing. He healed me first, where no doctor could reach my patience." No, that is what divine timing does. It heals the inside before it reveals the outside. Now look at your own timeline with new eyes. You are not late. You are being aligned. Every detour, every pause, every unanswered question has been working together to prepare you for a moment that will make sense only when heaven unveils it. Be still within that truth. Let it comfort you that the same God who set the stars in perfect orbit also set your journey to unfold in flawless rhythm. So rest not in resignation, but in revelation. The appointed time is closer than it feels, and when it comes, you'll understand why it had to take this long. When the moment arrives, it will not rush in chaos, but glide in peace. You will simply know, this is it. The delay dissolves, replaced by divine clarity and perfect fulfillment. Every second you waited becomes worship in heaven's record. The wait itself was faith, and faith never expires. Now time and promise meet, and everything finally fits together. You can almost feel it, the air around your spirit shifting. The old restraints are breaking. What once felt like chains now falls away with a sound softer than thunder, yet stronger than steel. Heaven is breathing freedom into your bones. For so long, you have walked as if carrying invisible weights, expectations, regrets, fears inherited from generations before you. They clung to you like shadows stitched to your heels. But today, heaven declares, the breaking has begun. It doesn't always sound dramatic. Sometimes freedom starts as a whisper, a simple thought, I don't have to live like this anymore. That's how chains begin to shatter. Not through noise, but through awareness. Heaven speaks clearly through the writings of Isaiah. Chapter 52, verse 2. Shake yourself from the dust and arise, sit enthroned. O Jerusalem, loose the bonds from your neck. O captive daughter of Zion, you were never meant to stay bowed. You were designed to stand crowned. There was a man named Kareem who used to dream of music, but buried his talent under fear. People like me don't get far, he'd say. But one day, while fixing a broken radio, he heard an old melody he once wrote as a boy. Something inside him cracked open. That night, he picked up his guitar again. What began as a quiet hum became a river of sound that healed more than his own heart. Heaven didn't just free him, it freed everyone who heard his song. Freedom always begins within. Before doors open, the mind must unlock. Before chains fall from your hands, they must first break in your heart. You've carried burdens that weren't yours, guilt you never earned, shame you never deserved. But those things lose power when you finally remember who you are, not a prisoner of circumstance, but a vessel of light. Listen, the sound you hear in the spirit right now is the sound of chains breaking. The same way glass shatters under pressure. The weight that once confined you can no longer contain your expansion. Heaven is enlarging your life. There's a reason why freedom feels terrifying at first. When you've lived inside walls long enough, open space feels like risk. But it's not risk, it's restoration. You were born for wide skies, not narrow corridors. Think of a butterfly emerging from its cocoon. It trembles before its first flight. Unsure, if the wings will hold. But they were built for this exact moment. And so were you. Your obedience has triggered a chain reaction in the spirit realm. What held your ancestors can no longer hold you. What oppressed generations before you bows to the light rising within you. The curse ends where your courage begins. The ground beneath you trembles not with fear, but with release. The gates of yesterday are opening. You will walk through them, not as a slave of memory, but as a child of grace. There's an old truth hidden in the story of Israel leaving Egypt. They didn't just walk out. They sang their way out. Freedom doesn't come in silence. It comes with a sound. That's why your voice matters. When you speak truth, even softly, the atmosphere bends toward liberty. So today, lift your eyes. Let your heart breathe. You don't have to earn what was already paid for. Heaven isn't waiting for you to be perfect, just present. Maybe that's why this message found you today. On this exact moment, the Spirit knew your chains were beginning to loosen, and you needed confirmation that this release is real. You've stepped into a sacred intersection, your past behind you, your promise before you. All you have to do now is move one honest step at a time. And when you do, you'll notice something miraculous. The steps of the free sound different. They echo with lightness, with joy, with purpose. Let this be your quiet agreement with heaven. When you like what resonates, it isn't a tap on a screen. It's you planting a flag of freedom, saying, I claim this liberty as mine. Not when you share. Imagine your light as a lantern handed to another traveler, lost in the fog. Your story becomes their direction home. And when you subscribe, think of it as stepping into a flowing river, choosing to stay in motion with the current of heaven that keeps carrying you toward your purpose. Do these only if your soul whispers, yes. Freedom never commands, it invites. Every gesture born of sincerity becomes worship in disguise. Now breathe again. The sound you hear in your chest is not exhaustion, it's resurrection. You have crossed the threshold between surviving and soaring. You have remembered what wings feel like. And as you rise, the heavens rise with you. The sky above you widens with every breath. Even the wind seems to recognize your freedom, wrapping around you like applause. You are no longer confined. You are becoming the horizon itself. The atmosphere around your spirit feels different now. The chains have fallen, and the silence that once surrounded you is breaking into melody. You can sense it. Something divine is unfolding. The miracle you prayed for is no longer distant. It is approaching with gentle certainty. Heaven is moving pieces into place. The same way dawn rearranges darkness, the unseen hand of God is positioning every detail of your story. What once felt delayed now begins to make sense. Like scattered stars forming constellations, you are walking into the very miracle heaven has been preparing behind the veil. Ancient words recorded in the book of Habakkuk. Chapter 1, verse 5 remind us, look among the nations and watch, be utterly astounded. For I will work a work in your days which you would not believe. Though it were told you, you are standing in that kind of moment, the unbelievable one. The miracle is not always thunder and lightning. Sometimes it's quiet, a message, a coincidence, a door you thought was locked, suddenly opening. Sometimes it's a healing that begins with one deep breath, or a blessing wrapped in someone's small act of kindness. There was a woman named Leona who had lost everything: her job, her confidence, her sense of direction. She prayed for help, but felt nothing. Weeks passed until one afternoon, she found a letter in her mailbox with no sender. Inside was a verse she'd never read and a note. "You are not forgotten." That single sentence reignited her faith. 2 months later, the job she had dreamed of appeared, an opportunity she never applied for but was waiting for her. Heaven's miracles rarely shout. They whisper. They arrive disguised as moments that seem ordinary, until you look back and realize the extraordinary had been walking beside you the entire time. Miracles are not rare. Awareness is. The more you notice, the more you see. God has been working not just to change your circumstance, but to open your eyes. When you see differently, you live differently. The chosen ones often carry miracles before they recognize them. They are like wells hidden beneath dry earth still, deep, waiting for the right moment to overflow. You are that well. And this Sunday, heaven has struck the ground. Picture rain falling on parched soil. It does not roar, it seeps in quietly, softening what once resisted growth. That is how the miracle moves through your life now. You don't have to force it. You only have to remain open. What if the delay you resented was the reason your miracle could now arrive complete? Some doors would have crushed you if they opened too soon. But today, heaven says, it is safe now. The blessing is mature. And so are you. There's a reason this moment feels sacred. The presence you sense is not imagination. It's the echo of answered prayer. Angels stand where anxiety used to dwell. Peace now fills the spaces fear once occupied. Take this as your confirmation. You didn't lose the miracle. It was waiting for the hour. You'd be ready to hold it. Even now, something is shifting in the unseen. Healing, provision, restoration, they are converging toward you. And when they arrive, you'll recognize them not by sight, but by peace. Real miracles don't create chaos, they create calm. Remember how the sea parted for Moses? The waters didn't vanish, they made room for purpose to pass through. That's what heaven is doing in your life now, making space where there was none. Let this truth settle into your chest. Your miracle is not future tense anymore. It is unfolding quietly, faithfully. When it fully blooms, you'll see it was never just about receiving, it was about becoming. The miracle is not simply for you, it is through you. You are proof that heaven still intervenes in human hearts. Pause for a moment. Let gratitude rise. In this sacred pause, miracles accelerate. Before this section ends, let your heart respond. Comment 999. Do it not as routine, but as revelation. The number 999 symbolizes completion, divine alignment, and a fresh beginning. When you type it, you declare that the old season has finished perfectly and heaven's new chapter has begun. The action carries no magic, it's the faith behind it that moves heaven. Because this is what it means to be chosen, not waiting for proof, but walking in expectation, not hoping timidly, but standing boldly, knowing the promise is already on its way. So breathe, smile, look toward the unseen horizon. The miracle is closer than your next heartbeat. And when it arrives, the only words you'll have left will be simple and true. God, you did it again. Number. And when that moment comes, your tears will turn to laughter. Your waiting into worship. You will stand in awe, whispering softly, this is grace made visible, promise becoming flesh. You can feel the shift, not just within you, but around you, the air carries a quiet dignity, a calm after the storm. Heaven is preparing a table, not in secrecy, but in full view of those who once doubted you. This is the moment when honor replaces humiliation, when vindication arrives, clothed in peace. You remember the years when you were overlooked, the conversations that continued without your name, the opportunities that slipped past while you waited faithfully. You stayed silent, wondering if God saw what others ignored. But every unnoticed moment was recorded in heaven's ledger. Nothing righteous ever goes unseen. The scriptures reveal this truth in the book of Psalms, chapter 23, verse 5. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Endvo, the table has been set. It's not a table of revenge, but of restoration. God is not feeding your pride, He's feeding your purpose. The feast He prepares is not to humiliate your enemies, it's to remind them that grace is more powerful than grudges. There's an image heaven paints here, a long table stretched across eternity's garden, candles flickering, fruit gleaming like gems. Your name is written on a golden plate, reserved long before the first wound ever cut you. Around you, the air hums with peace. The same people who once dismissed you now watch in silence as heaven honors what they could not see. This is not arrogance, it is alignment. You are not standing above anyone, you are simply standing where God always intended. There was once a man named Oren, quiet and faithful, who served in a place where he was constantly ignored. Every idea he offered was dismissed. Yet he continued to serve with integrity. Years passed. Then, one day, his supervisor resigned suddenly, and Oren was asked to step in temporarily. That temporary role became permanent. When asked later how it happened, Oren said softly, "God was preparing my table long before anyone knew it existed." And that is what divine honor looks like. It doesn't come with noise, it arrives with timing. The oil of anointing is not poured in crowds, it is poured in quiet rooms. When the prophet Samuel anointed David, the world didn't notice, but heaven did. You've been in that same season, anointed in obscurity, and now that private pouring is becoming public evidence. Every tear that watered your soil has produced fruit. Every loss has matured into wisdom. You are not being rewarded for perfection, but for perseverance. Heaven honors those who stayed when walking away seemed easier. Look closely at the table in front of you. Not physical, but spiritual. It's not made of gold or marble, but of moments redeemed. On it are lessons, scars, laughter after tears, and the faces of those who stood by you through the breaking. Each item is sacred, each memory a dish seasoned by grace. This is your restoration table. The season of proving is over. The season of overflowing has begun, and yet, even in this moment of divine recognition, heaven whispers humility. The purpose of honor is not to boast, but to bless. God raises you up not to be admired, but to become a refuge for others still crawling through their wilderness. Your overflow isn't meant to gather dust, it's meant to pour. The cup that runs over in your hands is not a trophy, it's a river. Let it flow toward those still thirsty. That's how divine honor multiplies, by giving it away. Maybe you feared this moment would never come. Maybe you thought God forgot. But see now, He was never ignoring you. He was simply building your stage in secret. The waiting shaped your voice. The pain refined your tone. And when heaven unveiled your table, you were ready not to gloat, but to serve. Notice how peace feels heavier than applause. That's how you know this honor is holy. It doesn't shout, it settles. From now on, you will walk differently, not with pride, but with quiet authority. People will sense something on you and not know what to call it. That's the fragrance of anointing. It lingers longer than memory, speaks louder than words, and draws light wherever you go. You will find yourself sitting at new tables, invited into rooms your name once never entered, but you won't need to announce yourself. Grace will speak your introduction. So, sit with gratitude, eat with peace. You don't need to explain how you got here. The table itself is testimony. And as you dine with destiny, remember, this feast isn't about proving you were right. It's about proving God was faithful. The table before you will never empty. Each sunrise will add something new: wisdom, joy, peace unshakable. Those who once watched in doubt will see that grace never forgets its own. Your story has become heaven's quiet masterpiece of restoration. Something has changed inside you, though you may not yet have words for it. The noise that used to fill your mind has grown quiet. It is as if your soul is catching its breath after years of running. The confusion has lifted, and in its place comes a steady whisper, a voice, not from around you, but from within you. Heaven is speaking again, not through thunder, but through stillness. You once thought the voice of God would sound dramatic: fire, lightning, visions too grand for comprehension. But now you know better. It is not the volume that proves the presence, it is the peace. The divine voice rarely shouts. It reminds, corrects, comforts, and confirms in ways the world cannot imitate. The ancient record in the book of 1 Kings, chapter 19, verse 12 says, "After the earthquake came a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire came a gentle whisper." And that gentle whisper is speaking now. It is the sound that settles storms within, the voice that tells you when to wait, when to step, when to stop fighting battles that no longer belong to you. It is the same voice that hovered over the waters in Genesis, the same one that calls your name with the softness of eternity. You've learned that God's voice isn't always instruction, it's often invitation. An invitation to rest, to trust, to believe that what He promised still stands, even when your eyes cannot yet see it. There was a woman named Miriel who used to say, "God stopped talking to me." She meant it sincerely. Her prayers felt empty, her worship mechanical. But one morning, while walking beside a quiet lake, she noticed how still the water was, and she heard not audibly, but within, "I never stopped speaking, you stopped resting." That sentence changed everything. She learned that the voice of God doesn't compete with noise. It waits for silence. And maybe that's what heaven is teaching you now. That divine communication isn't a performance to earn, it's a relationship to return to. You don't have to chase His voice, you have to clear the space to hear it. Think of a radio signal. The message is always broadcasting, but you only hear clearly when tuned to the right frequency. Worry distorts it, dupe scrambles it, but stillness makes it sing. God's voice does not speak confusion, it speaks order. The moment you feel peace rise after prayer, that's Him. When a verse comes alive at the right time, that's Him. When you feel prompted to forgive, to pause, to love again, that's Him too. Heaven doesn't just speak through words, it speaks through timing. You've mistaken silence for absence, but silence has been your sanctuary. Heaven sometimes hides its voice to grow your discernment, to teach you to recognize truth, even when there are no words. There's a quiet conversation happening right now between your spirit and eternity. You may not hear sentences, but you feel direction. It's like standing in the ocean. You don't control the waves, but you feel their pull. That pull is divine. Follow it. Every chosen one learns to walk by internal light, not external confirmation. The voice of God doesn't need witnesses to be real. It only needs your willingness to listen. So many people chase signs, waiting for flashing answers. But the real revelation often hides in the small nudges, the moments when peace persists, despite circumstances. Those are heaven's fingerprints. The next time you question, God, is this you? Look for peace. Truth always carries peace. Even when it challenges you, lies always carry pressure. Even when they flatter you, learn to feel the difference. You are learning heaven's language now. It isn't English or Hebrew, it's alignment. The more you walk in truth, the clearer the voice becomes. And once you truly hear it, you can never return to the noise you once called normal. In this stillness, God is reminding you of things you forgot, that He never left you, that your steps are ordered, that His promises have no expiration date. The whisper says, "Be still and know." It does not explain everything. It anchors you in the one who knows everything. You do not need to demand answers anymore. You only need to remain tuned to the frequency of faith. The voice that began creation is still speaking creation into you. The season ahead will require listening more than striving. You will find yourself guided in ways that surprise you through dreams, through chance encounters, through scriptures that open at just the right page. Every whisper is a breadcrumb leading you home. Keep walking with open ears and a quiet spirit. The voice you hear is not distant. It's the same one that spoke before time began, and it still calls you mine. End quote. The covenant has never been broken, only paused. Heaven's promises over your life still stand, shimmering like stars, waiting for the right night to shine. What you thought was silence was actually preservation. The thread between you and heaven has not frayed. It has been stretched, strengthened, made sacred through endurance. You may have felt forgotten, but heaven never let go. There are promises hovering over you that have not expired, only matured. What once seemed denied is now ripening in the light of divine timing. The scripture echoes through the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 9. Know therefore that the Lord your God is God. He is the faithful God, keeping His covenant of love to 1,000 generations of those who love Him and keep His commandments. The covenant remains. Think back to every time you almost gave up, every moment you thought your prayers dissolved into the air. They didn't. They were written into heaven's archives, signed in grace, stamped in endurance. Nothing whispered in faith ever disappears. There was once a man named Elias, who at 19 promised God that if He gave him a new start, he would live differently. Life, however, took him down roads full of compromise. Decades later, as he sat alone in a small apartment, A verse from his youth came to mind, one he hadn't thought of in years. He wept, realizing the covenant still stood. God had not walked away. He had been quietly waiting for Elias to remember. That is what the covenant does. It waits. It outlasts rebellion, fatigue, and forgetfulness. It survives your silence. Heaven's patience is not passivity, it's promise. The chosen ones are bound to God, not by perfection, but by remembrance. You may wander, but your spirit always finds its way back home. There's something sacred about divine loyalty. It doesn't depend on your strength to keep holding on. It depends on God's mercy that refuses to let go. Imagine a scarred rope tied between heaven and earth. Storms have pulled at it. Winds have frayed it. Yet it holds. Every prayer, every cry, every act of faith keeps that rope alive with light. You may not always feel it tugging, but it never breaks. Sometimes the covenant feels distant because you've mistaken conviction for condemnation. But conviction is proof that the connection still exists. It's heaven tugging the line, saying, I'm still here. The enemy wants you to believe you've gone too far, but you haven't. You're still within reach. The covenant doesn't end where your strength fails. It deepens there. Think of it like the tide. It withdraws for a while, revealing the emptiness of the shore. But it always returns, stronger, fuller, carrying shells that prove it has touched deeper waters. So does grace. It comes back fuller than before, bringing evidence that God was working even in the pullback. You are part of a story much older than your own heartbeat. The same covenant that covered Abraham, David, and Ruth now covers you. Their faith built the foundation. Your obedience builds the continuation. And now, heaven is renewing that covenant. It's not writing something new, it's reawakening what was already sealed. You will notice signs of renewal, doors reopening that you thought were permanently shut. Opportunities returning. People reappearing with different hearts. Prayers being answered in ways that restore your hope in divine constancy. It's not just restoration, it's reinstatement. Heaven is reinstating your authority, your peace, your clarity. You're being brought back into alignment with what was promised long ago. Even the parts of your story that you regret are being woven back into purpose. The covenant has always included redemption clauses. Grace never wastes a fall. Take a moment to breathe this truth in. You are still covered. You have always been covered. Nothing you've lost in weakness can cancel what was written in love. When heaven looks at you, it doesn't see your detours. It sees your destiny. The covenant was never performance-based, it was presence-based. God's commitment to you does not fluctuate with your mood. It stands unshaken. So, as you read these words, let your heart respond. Comment, I'm home. Not as a phrase, but as a proclamation. When you type it, you're not talking to an algorithm. You're talking to heaven itself, declaring that you remember the covenant, that you are returning, that you are choosing alignment again. It's your way of walking back across the bridge grace built for you. And in that moment, heaven rejoices, not because you were lost, but because you remembered where you belong. When you write, I'm home, heaven reads it as more than words. It's the sound of return. It's you stepping back into the promise, acknowledging that grace was waiting at the door all along. Those two words, rebuild, connection, they tell the heavens, I choose alignment. I choose remembrance. I choose to stay. And in that sacred choice, every broken piece of your covenant begins to shine again. The dawn of restoration begins quietly. You don't always hear the sound of healing when it first starts. It often arrives like morning light seeping beneath a closed door. Soft, patient, certain. The long night has ended, and heaven has begun rebuilding what was once broken in silence. You can feel it in the small things, the way peace lingers longer, the way laughter returns unexpectedly, the way your heart doesn't flinch at old memories anymore. Something deep has been reset. Heaven has not just patched your wounds, it has restructured your foundation. As the sacred writings reveal in the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 25, I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten. Restoration never happens all at once. It unfolds in layers. You might not see the full masterpiece yet, but the brushstrokes have already begun. What felt wasted will soon shimmer with purpose. What felt broken will reveal itself as the place light could finally enter. You are no longer living in survival mode. Heaven is turning your story from endurance to elegance. The ashes you carried are becoming the soil of new beginnings. There was a man named Corin who once said, God didn't give me back what I lost. He gave me what I needed to understand why I had to lose it. That's the secret of restoration. It doesn't return you to what was. It lifts you to what couldn't have been without the breaking. The chosen ones learn this. Some losses were never punishment. They were pruning. Heaven never subtracts without the intention to multiply differently. Look around your life now. You'll start noticing subtle signs of divine renewal. A message arriving at the right hour. A person reappearing with a softer heart. Opportunities once locked, now gently opening. These aren't coincidences, they're confirmations. Restoration is heaven's handwriting, subtle, curved, consistent. You won't need to force it, you'll just recognize it. But there's something vital to remember. Restoration doesn't mean you return unchanged. It means you return transformed. The same places that once echoed with pain now become sacred ground. Think of an ancient cathedral rebuilt after fire. The new stone carries the memory of flame, yet the light through the stained glass dances brighter than before. That's your soul right now, a cathedral that once burned, but now houses light more vividly than ever. Forgiveness will be your final act of freedom, not because the past deserves it, but because your peace does. Holding on to hurt would dim what heaven has freshly lit within you. Let the old season close fully so that joy can enter unannounced. And when joy comes, it won't need permission. It will sweep through you like a breeze, through open windows, rearranging everything heavy into light. You will see how God never forgot any detail. He simply waited for your heart to be ready to recognize redemption. Now, you stand in a sacred moment, a threshold between restoration received and restoration revealed. Heaven's rhythm moves quietly here, asking only one thing. Remember, gratitude. Gratitude is the vessel that holds restoration in place. If your heart feels this truth stirring, let it respond, not out of duty, but delight. Like this message, as one gently plants a seed in soft soil, silent, unseen, but alive. That simple act becomes your thank you to heaven for what is already unfolding. If the story of redemption resonates with someone you love, share it. Picture yourself handing them a key made of light, a key that might unlock the courage they need to believe again. Sharing is not promotion, it's participation in heaven's cycle of renewal. And if your soul feels drawn to stay within this flow, to walk continually in this rhythm of revelation and peace, subscribe, not to a channel, but to the current of grace that keeps speaking life through these words. Each return is a re-entry into alignment, a small agreement with destiny. Before you leave, take one quiet breath and notice the stillness in your chest. That's not emptiness, it's restoration completed. You don't have to rebuild yourself. Heaven already did. The story isn't ending, it's beginning anew. And as you step forward, carrying light where loss once lived, the world will see the truth written all over you. What was broken has become beautiful. You will notice beauty where pain once spoke louder. Every conversation, every sunrise, every gentle pause will remind you you survived the storm and became its calm. Restoration has rewritten your atmosphere. Those who meet you will feel something they can't explain. It's peace wearing your skin, grace breathing through your tone. You won't need to speak of what happened. Your presence will do the telling. So, walk forward lightly. The road no longer remembers your sorrow. The air is clear, the horizon wide. What was once your valley has now become your garden of testimony. Something shifts when heaven moves through you instead of around you. The atmosphere no longer simply visits, it abides. You walk into rooms and feel the difference. Not because you announce it, but because the presence within you speaks louder than words. Every place you touch seems to breathe again. It's not pride, it's presence. The same spirit that hovered over chaos at creation now hovers through your every step. This is what it means when heaven fills the earth through you. The light inside of you is not ornamental, it's operational. It changes things. It reforms the unseen before it transforms the visible. The sacred text in the book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse 9 declares, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Oh, that promise isn't a memory, it's a movement. Wherever you go, heaven follows because heaven dwells in you. You are not a guest in divine presence, you are its dwelling place. There was a teacher named Alina who used to pray every morning, "God, to be with me today." But one morning, a thought came quietly, "What if I am already with you?" That day she stopped asking for presents and started acknowledging it. And everything changed. Her classroom, once tense and chaotic, became a sanctuary. Students began to confide, laugh, and listen. She later said, "Peace walked in before I did." That's how divine presence works. It enters before you speak. The more aware you are of heaven's nearness, the more its power flows naturally. Awareness becomes the switch that keeps the current alive. It doesn't need drama or ritual, it needs recognition. You carry a current strong enough to shift an atmosphere, yet gentle enough to heal a heart. Sometimes you may walk into a place filled with heaviness, and without saying a word, people exhale. They don't know why they feel lighter, but the light knows why it came. You are not just walking through life, you are carrying heaven's weather system, replacing storms with stillness. The chosen ones are not recognized by title but by temperature. When they enter, the spiritual climate changes. Darkness grows uneasy because it knows the scent of authority. Peace doesn't beg to be noticed, it just exists, and everything unlike it must yield. You have become that kind of presence. It's not something you do, it's who you are. The more you live aware of divine companionship, the less you fear circumstances. When the atmosphere inside you is anchored, the world around you loses its ability to shake you. There will still be moments when you feel small, when doubt taps your shoulder and whispers, "Who do you think you are?" But the answer will rise from within. "I am one whom heaven trusts." That identity silences fear faster than any sermon. Imagine walking through a crowded street. You don't preach. You don't shout. You just move. Yet somehow, people sense calm trailing in your wake. The invisible kingdom travels with you. Hope, patience, discernment, compassion. You are heaven's quiet invasion, disguised as an ordinary soul. This presence isn't always loud joy. Sometimes it's deep stillness, like a pond reflecting the sky. In that stillness, you begin to see yourself clearly again, not as the world defines you, but as heaven recognizes you, chosen, sent, steady. Divine presence is not only felt in victory, but in vulnerability. When you cry, God doesn't withdraw. He leans closer. When you question, He doesn't condemn. He clarifies. When you fall, He doesn't leave. He kneels beside you. You will learn that God with you doesn't always mean God fixing everything. It often means God enduring everything with you. And that companionship is more powerful than any instant solution. The places you walk through tomorrow will need this presence. Boardrooms, classrooms, kitchens, hospital rooms, each space is waiting for a trace of heaven, and it arrives the moment you do. Sometimes, all it takes is your calm voice, your steady gaze, your listening heart. That's how heaven heals quietly, through human touch, infused with divine peace. Remember this, presence multiplies when it's shared. The more peace you extend, the more peace you live in. That's why Jesus didn't say, "Hold your peace." He said, "Give it," because peace kept is peace lost. But peace given is heaven multiplied. So, wherever you go after reading this, pause before you enter. Whisper inside, "Heaven." Walk in first, and then step through the threshold with quiet certainty. The ground doesn't need to tremble to become holy. It just needs to be walked upon by someone who knows it. You are that someone. The air will change. The unseen will respond. You are not chasing revival. You are carrying it. Heaven watches closely when new favor arrives. Blessing always carries a test inside it, a quiet question whispered from eternity. Can you handle what you prayed for? It's not punishment, it's preparation. Every miracle comes with a measure of responsibility. What you hold now, you must also protect. The sacred writings in the book of James, chapter 1, verses 17 declare, "Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights, who does not change, like shifting shadows. And what comes from above is good. But heaven watches to see how you carry it. Stewardship begins where excitement ends. It's easy to praise when the blessing arrives, but true maturity is proven in how you manage the ordinary days after the miracle. You've entered a new chapter, one filled not only with favor, but with function. The oil that was poured upon you in secret now draws attention. People notice your peace, your growth, your clarity, and not all of them celebrate it. Some will test it. Some will misunderstand it. and others will attempt to claim what you've earned in prayer. But wisdom will teach you how to protect your peace without hardening your heart. There was a woman named Kiera who received a breakthrough job she had prayed for years to get. In the first few months, everything went smoothly. Then the challenges began. Envy from colleagues, endless distractions, moments that made her question her own worth. One night, while sitting in her car after work, she whispered, "God, I asked for this. Why does it feel heavy?" And the Spirit answered quietly, "Because this is not just a position, it's an assignment." And blessings, when misunderstood, become burdens. But when seen correctly, they become platforms for service. Heaven never gives gifts to inflate the ego, but to expand the kingdom. The chosen ones learn early that favor is not freedom from effort, it's empowerment for purpose. You've been entrusted with more because heaven sees more in you than you yet see in yourself. Think of a tree heavy with fruit. It bends under the weight, not because it is weak, but because it is full. That's what stewardship feels like. Holy weight. It humbles you while it honors you. The test now is not whether you can receive, but whether you can sustain. It's easy to start strong. It's divine to stay consistent. Heaven measures faithfulness, not by applause, but by endurance. When no one is watching, when the initial excitement fades, when discipline replaces motivation, that's where true stewardship begins. You are being invited to treat your blessing like sacred ground. Manage it with care. Nurture it with prayer. Don't rush expansion. Tend to depth. Growth without grounding topples quickly. Maybe that's why God didn't give you everything at once. Too much too soon can suffocate purpose. But the pace you are walking now, this divine rhythm, is exactly what your spirit can sustain. When responsibility grows, the need for stillness grows too. Keep a portion of your soul untouched by noise. Protect your private devotion as fiercely as you celebrate your public victories. The oil you carry will only remain fresh if you return to the source often. Remember how the manna in the wilderness had to be gathered daily. It could not be stored for tomorrow. So it is with grace, it renews with obedience. Not accumulation. This is your stewardship season. Heaven has trusted you with influence, insight, and increase. You may not have asked for all of it, but heaven knew your hands could hold it. Don't fear the weight. It's evidence that you are trusted. The lamp that carries the flame always feels the heat first. And when doubt tries to creep in, whisper softly to yourself, "If heaven gave it, heaven will help me carry it." End quote. Every blessing is both gift and gateway. You've stepped through it now into a larger space that demands wisdom, humility, and grace. Don't shrink back because of the responsibility. Grow into it. The same God who gave the gift will guide your stewardship. Listen for his rhythm. There will be moments when he says, "Give it away," and others when he says, "Hold it close." Both are obedience. Heaven is observing how you handle what's holy, and the way you nurture it will determine what comes next. Now pause for a moment and let your heart speak back to heaven. Comment 222. Not as superstition, but as symbol. The number 222 represents balance, divine order, and faithful alignment. When you write it, you're declaring that you will steward this season with integrity, that you accept the weight of favor not with fear, but with gratitude. It's a small act of faith, a whisper into eternity that says, "I understand the assignment. M." And as you type those 3 digits, heaven takes note. The angels record it not as text, but as testimony. The chosen one has agreed to carry blessing with wisdom. Your stewardship has begun, and your stability will prove heaven right for trusting you. What the enemy designed for destruction is already unraveling in his hands. Every plot, every whisper, every unseen snare that once surrounded you is losing its strength. Heaven has begun a divine reversal, a turning of tables so complete that even your enemies will be forced to witness the mercy that shields you. The sacred text in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 28 declares, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." This is that truth unfolding before your eyes. What was meant to wound you will become the very wound through which light escapes. The arrows sent against you will be melted down into keys that open new doors. The warfare you endured wasn't wasted. It was sculpting your discernment, shaping your voice, refining your courage. For months, maybe even years, you carried the scars of battles you didn't start. You fought lies with silence, betrayal with prayer, injustice with patience. You didn't retaliate, not because you were weak, but because you understood that vengeance belongs to higher hands. Now, those higher hands are moving. The reversal has begun quietly, in places you can't yet see. People who misjudged you will remember truth at strange hours. Opportunities stolen from you will return in multiplied form. What was once shame will become evidence of grace. There was a man named Darian who lost his entire business after a partner deceived him. He had no energy left for anger. He only had tears. For months, he prayed the same prayer, "God, please make it make sense." A year later, an investor who had read about his story offered him a new opportunity. This time, it was bigger, global, honest. Darian's eyes filled with tears again, this time not from loss, but from restoration. He said, "God didn't just restore what I lost. He exposed what was fake, so I'd make room for what was real." That is what divine reversal looks like. Heaven does not simply repay, it redefines. You are walking into a season where clarity replaces confusion. The fog that made you question your path will lift, and behind it you will see purpose hiding in every disappointment. Even your delays were strategic. They prevented premature arrivals. The traps once laid for your downfall have become the trenches that now protect you. Every pit the enemy dug became a well for your refreshment. Every reaction redirected you towards revelation. This reversal is not a spectacle, it's a quiet correction. Heaven doesn't humiliate your enemies, it humbles them. The point was never revenge. It was revelation that those who rise against light will always stumble in their own shadow. The chosen ones understand this truth deeply. The same God who allows shaking also controls its rhythm. Nothing slips through his fingers. When he reverses the tide, even the debris of the storm becomes material for rebuilding. If you look closely, you'll start noticing signs of this reversal. People who once left without reason will reach out with apology. Opportunities that vanished will return refined, better timed, more aligned. What fell apart in confusion is now being reassembled with precision. Your assignment is to stay still in trust. Let heaven do the rearranging. When divine justice begins its work, your job is not to announce it, but to embody it. to walk in such peace that even those who hurt you sense their own need for grace. Do not waste time rehearsing old pain. The story is already being rewritten. Your task now is to live like someone who expects goodness to find them again. Because it will. It already has. Think of a tapestry viewed from the wrong side, all knots and tangles, patterns you can't understand. But when heaven turns it over, the image makes sense. The chaos had structure all along. Every tear that once blurred your sight will become the dew that waters your harvest. Every no that broke your heart will echo later as heaven's not yet. Olen, even now, divine reversal is rippling through time. The hands that once trembled in fear will soon hold victory without bitterness. The mouth that once stayed silent will soon speak wisdom, born of endurance. Let peace anchor you here. Don't look back for proof, look forward for purpose. The evidence of reversal will appear naturally through restoration, reconciliation, redemption. This is the paradox of heaven, what the enemy meant to bury you under. God uses as the foundation to raise you higher. The same storm that tried to drown you becomes the wind that lifts your wings. The season of correction has ended. The season of compensation has begun. But even greater than compensation is comprehension, understanding that none of it was wasted. You will look back and whisper, "Now I see." On, and heaven will answer, "I told you so." On, the fire returns, not to destroy you, but to refine you. Every chosen one must pass through this stage. It is not punishment, it is purification. The flame that once frightened you now becomes your teacher. Heaven does not fear fire, it uses it. There are two kinds of fire, the one that consumes and the one that clarifies. The consuming fire burns away what was never meant to stay. The clarifying fire reveals what was always true beneath the ashes. You are walking through both at once. As the sacred word records in the book of Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 9, "I will bring this third through the fire. I will refine them like silver and test them like gold. They will call on my name, and I will answer them." End quote. The fire is not your enemy. It is heaven's forge. The heat you feel in your soul is not destruction, it's transformation. Imagine a silversmith at work. The metal glows red, almost unbearable to watch. He does not look away. He waits until the impurities rise to the surface, skimming them away gently, patiently. When asked how he knows the silver is ready, he answers, "When I can see my reflection." And that is what God is doing with you. He is refining until his reflection shines from within you. There was a young artist named Salma who once told her mentor, "I'm afraid of losing everything I love." The mentor smiled and said, "Fire never takes what is pure, it only reveals what can't be destroyed." Years later, when Salma lost almost everything she thought defined her, she discovered a deeper art. Her voice, raw and powerful. Her pain became brushstrokes of beauty. The fire hadn't ruined her, it had revealed her. You may feel that same heat now, relationships shifting, plan dissolving, illusions falling away. Don't fight it. Fire only hurts when you resist it. When you yield, you begin to understand its mercy. The burning isn't random. It's removing what blocks your brilliance. Sometimes, the fire comes as disappointment. Sometimes, as silence. Sometimes, as loss that makes no sense. But every version of the flame holds the same purpose: to purify the heart, so it can hold greater light. The chosen ones learn this sacred rhythm. Everything you lose to the fire was never essential. Everything that remains afterward is eternal. You might not recognize yourself when this refining is over. And that's the point. The old version of you can't carry the new assignment. Fire separates shadow from substance. When you emerge, you will find that fear no longer fits, and insecurity no longer speaks your language. You'll notice that the same situations that once broke you now bend around you, unable to harm you. You'll walk lighter because the unnecessary weight has been burned away. There's beauty in ashes when you understand their meaning. Ashes are not proof of failure. They are evidence that something once burned brightly. The ashes on your soul are heaven's fingerprints, traces of divine work, completed. Even nature tells this truth. After a forest fire, seeds buried deep in the soil, ones that can only sprout through heat, begin to grow. Life often waits beneath destruction. Some miracles only bloom in aftermath. Your current season may feel like exposure, like standing under light too bright to hide anything. But that is mercy disguised as intensity. God is not embarrassing you, He is emptying you. The flame makes space for authenticity to take root. Every ember carries revelation. Listen closely to what the fire tells you. It's teaching you discernment, how to tell gold from glitter, truth from noise, faith from familiarity. When you've walked through enough heat, you no longer panic at sparks. You know their nature. You know what burns quickly cannot last, and what endures fire will last forever. In time, you'll thank the flame. You'll bless the burning because it taught you the sound of your own resilience. You'll look back and realize that the fire didn't take from you, it introduced you to your indestructible core. The refining season is always the quietest, because heaven is working in depth, not display. You may not hear applause, but you'll feel alignment. And when the fire finally cools, you'll step forward, radiant light flickering from your skin like morning after storm. The same people who once pitied your pain will witness your purity. Remember this truth. Fire has no power over what belongs to eternity. You are made of more than ashes. You are made of promise. And when heaven sees its reflection in you, it will whisper, "Now, they are ready." And the embers fade, but their warmth remains within you. You no longer fear the flame, you honor it. Every scar now glows like scripture written in light, reminding you that refinement was not ruin, but the birthplace of your unbreakable brilliance. The moment arrives quietly. No trumpet, no applause, just a still recognition that something sacred has shifted. You have endured the weight, passed through the fire, and now heaven opens a space before you. The light touches your brow differently. It is not the glow of striving, but of becoming. You have entered your coronation. The crown is not metal or jeweled. It is invisible yet undeniable. It is woven from every prayer that survived disappointment, every act of faith done in silence, every yes whispered in the dark when no one was watching. Heaven crowns those who endure privately long before the world ever sees it publicly. The scriptures remind us in the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 11, "I am coming soon. Hold fast to what you have, so that no one may take your crown." This is heaven's whisper to you now. Hold fast. You fought too hard to let fear loosen your grip. The crown placed upon you isn't decoration, it's declaration. It announces to darkness that you belong to light. You may not feel different, but the spiritual realm already knows. Authority now rests upon your shoulders. Where you once sought validation, you now carry verification. Heaven itself has said your name and attached it to purpose. Coronation is never about superiority, it is about service. The crown you wear is not a symbol of dominance, but of devotion. You were chosen not to rule over, but to rise among. The greatest crowns are those that tilt low enough to wash another's feet. There was once a woman named Janelle who endured years of humiliation and misunderstanding. When her breakthrough came, she expected celebration. Instead, she felt quiet, peace. She said, "I thought my victory would sound like thunder, but it sounded like breathing." That is coronation. It doesn't announce itself with noise. It settles with weight. You now carry that same weight, the weight of light. It will not crush you. It will center you. People will sense something changed, but may not know what to call it. Some will call it confidence. Others, serenity. Heaven calls it recognition. The crown does not erase your scars, it anoints them. What once marked you as wounded now marks you as wise. Heaven rejoices, not because you reached perfection, but because you refused to quit. The angels don't clap for performance, they celebrate endurance. And endurance has crowned you today. Now comes a new rhythm. You speak differently, walk differently, respond differently. The crown teaches gentleness, not arrogance. When you carry true authority, you no longer need to prove it. Presence speaks where words once struggled, and this is where your coronation becomes communal. You do not wear this crown for vanity, you wear it to remind others that theirs is waiting too. Every word you share, every truth you live, becomes invitation for someone else to rise. When you extend kindness, your crown glows. When you forgive, it gleams brighter. Crowns are not maintained by applause, but by compassion. Now, pause for a moment and look within. Can you feel the radiance resting above you? It hums quietly, like sunlight waiting to speak. That's heaven confirming. This one carries light. No, if your heart recognizes these words as truth, let it answer softly like this message, as a sign of gratitude. Not for me, but for the journey that shaped you. If the story resonates with someone you love, share it, not as content, but as ceremony. Every share becomes another coronation in motion. Another soul reminded that their crown still waits in grace's keeping. And if your spirit desires to stay within this current of awakening, subscribe not to a platform, but to purpose. Let it be your quiet agreement to remain under the same stream of divine reflection. Finally, beneath all this, allow your heart to respond with a whisper in the comments, "I choose my crown." You are not typing words, you are engraving commitment. The throne you stand before is not made of marble or gold, it is made of moments redeemed. It is where your pain kneels before your promise and surrenders. Heaven smiles softly, because another chosen one has remembered who they are. You wear your crown now. It fits perfectly not because it's new, but because you finally stopped bowing to things beneath your worth. Stand tall, radiant soul. Your reign has begun. Your crown will not fade, it will grow with every act of grace. Each time you choose compassion over pride, another gem is added, one only heaven can see. You are royalty in motion, crowned not for conquest, but for character. And when the world forgets its light, you will remind it quietly, steadily. Simply by being. Your presence will preach without words. Every breath will echo the truth that humility is glory's greatest form, and love is the highest throne. The air feels different again, not heavy, but charged with quiet authority. You have been crowned, refined, and restored. Now heaven looks upon you and says, lead, not in the way the world defines leadership, but in the way light leads darkness, by existing, by shining, by refusing to hide. Leadership in the kingdom is not a stage, it's a stewardship. It is not loud or desperate, it is steady. The chosen ones lead not by control, but by clarity. They walk first, so others know the path is safe. The scriptures remind us in the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 11. Remember your leaders, those who spoke the word of God to you. Consider the outcome of their way of life and imitate their faith. To lead in heaven's rhythm is to live in such alignment that your life becomes its own sermon. Words may fade, but présence endure. Now begins your commission, not to dominate, but to demonstrate. Your crown is not an ornament, it is a compass. Wherever you move, heaven's order moves with you. There was once a man named Tavian who spent years running from responsibility. Every time someone called him leader, he felt unworthy. I'm not ready, he would say. But when his mentor fell ill, Tavian had to step forward. The first time he spoke publicly, his voice trembled, but his heart burned with certainty. People listened, not because he was perfect, but because his authenticity sounded like home. Leadership begins exactly like that, imperfect, trembling, but true. Heaven never calls the ready, it readies the called. The world often confuses power with posture, but true authority flows from humility. The strongest leaders are not those who command attention, but those who create peace. They don't demand loyalty, they inspire it. Now, as you stand in this new space, understand that leadership is not a promotion, it's a deeper surrender. Every decision now carries weight. Every word has ripple. But don't let that frighten you. It's simply heaven's trust being placed into your hands. Remember, the great ones always remain teachable. The moment a leader stops listening, the light dims. Stay curious. Stay soft. Stay grounded. The crown on your head should always remind you of the feet that once walked through dust. You lead not to be seen, but to help others see. Every generation has a few who rise not to rule, but to redeem the meaning of leadership. You are among them. Heaven has chosen you to embody integrity where deception thrives, to embody kindness where cruelty grows. Do not underestimate how your quiet choices influence those watching from afar. Someone is learning patience because you did not give up. Someone is choosing faith because you did not curse the waiting. Someone is forgiving because you showed it could be done without losing dignity. Leadership is not about being followed, it's about making others brave enough to lead. When Moses led Israel, his greatest act wasn't parting the sea, it was teaching others to walk through it. You are being called to do the same, not to perform miracles, but to make space for miracles to continue. Your leadership will be marked by empathy, not ego. You will feel deeply, see clearly, act wisely. People will come to you not because you have answers, but because peace follows your voice. There will be days you feel the old fear returning, the temptation to hide, When that happens, remember that heaven's leaders never stand because they are flawless. They stand because they are faithful. The authority upon you is not borrowed, it's inherited. It comes from walking so closely with truth that your shadow looks like hope. The chosen ones who lead must learn balance, strength without hardness, vision without pride, conviction without cruelty. The world does not need louder voices, it needs steadier hearts. Let this be your leadership creed. Walk in integrity when no one watches. Speak only when words heal, and move only when peace goes with you. Even silence can be leadership when it holds wisdom instead of fear. Sometimes, saying nothing is the loudest sermon. From this day forward, you lead by example through honesty, compassion, endurance. You will not have to announce your position. Heaven will do that for you. Doors will open because your spirit commands respect, not your title. Every step will become instruction for someone else's journey. Every act of grace will become blueprint for those who follow. You have walked long enough behind others. Now heaven trusts you to walk ahead. Not all leaders carry swords. Some carry lamps. And you, chosen one, are a lamp. You will guide others through darkness, not by pointing the way, but by being the way. So walk on slow, steady, luminous. The world may not yet understand, but heaven already applauds. Heaven stands in quiet celebration. The journey that began with uncertainty now glows with completion. You have walked through waiting, fire, and revelation. And now everything within you hums in divine harmony. This is not an ending, it is a continuation wrapped in fulfillment. The eternal circle of promise has closed and opened again. Completion feels different than you imagined. It's not loud or triumphant, it's peaceful. It's the exhale after years of holding your breath. It's the knowing that you no longer have to chase what has already found you. The sacred text in the book of Philippians, chapter 1, verses 6 declares, being confident of this, that he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. Ilu. Completion in heaven's language does not mean stopping, it means becoming whole. You are not finished, you are fulfilled. The fragments that once warred inside you now fit together. The questions that haunted you have softened into understanding. When you look back, you'll see that every heartbreak had a hidden hand guiding it. Every loss became a doorway. Every unanswered prayer became an invitation to grow deeper roots. Heaven never wasted a moment. It orchestrated them into melody. There was a man named Elias, old and weary from decades of ministry. When asked near the end of his life if he had achieved his purpose, he smiled and said, "Purpose is not achieved, it's lived." That is the secret of completion. It isn't measured by milestones, but by moments of obedience. You, too, have entered that sacred knowing. Your heart is lighter because it finally understands that striving is not holiness, surrender is. The perfection you sought was never in performance, it was in alignment. This moment of completion feels like walking through a door you didn't build, but somehow always had the key for. The sound it makes as it closes behind you isn't final, it's faithful. The chosen ones always end where they began, back at the presence of God, but wiser, humbler, radiant. The same hands that lifted you in the beginning now rest upon your shoulders, blessing what your endurance has become. Completion does not erase pain, it redeems it. You will still carry memories of your struggles, but they will no longer sting. They will teach. They will speak of how far grace can travel. You may notice that life feels quieter now. That's because heaven often ends great chapters in stillness, not spectacle. The silence that follows is not emptiness, it's reverence. Heaven pauses when holy work concludes. Take this stillness as your confirmation. You did not imagine your transformation. You lived it. You became the very message heaven was trying to send through your life. Everything that needed to break has broken. Everything that needed to heal has begun. The light now pours from your scars, turning what once hurt into the very thing that heals others. Completion is also commissioning. As one chapter seals, another opens beneath your feet. You will now become the signpost for others lost on their own roads. Your story will whisper to them, "Keep walking, there is light ahead." This is what heaven wanted all along, not that you'd reach perfection, but that you'd remember you were never alone. The same fire that refined you will now rest in your words, your touch, your presence. You will walk through ordinary days, carrying extraordinary peace. You will sense heaven in laughter, in tears, in the smallest gestures of kindness. That's how completion looks when lived. It multiplies itself through compassion, and when doubt tries to revisit, it will no longer find a home in you. The rooms of your soul have been rearranged for faith. The furniture of fear has been moved out, replaced by rest. Now, as heaven watches, you stand complete, not flawless, but whole. You carry wisdom where wounds once were, serenity where storms once raged. Completion is not the end of your story. It is the rhythm by which new stories begin. From this place of peace, every step forward will echo eternity's sound, finished, yet forming, whole, yet still expanding. The divine circle is complete, and you stand in the center of it, not striving, not searching, simply shining. The world may see you as one person, but heaven sees you as a living altar, evidence that grace keeps its promises and that faith never returns empty. So rest now. Let your breath match heaven's quiet rhythm. The work is done, the promise fulfilled, the heart restored, and as light fills the horizon once more, heaven whispers its final benediction. Well done. End one. You have reached the summit not to boast, but to bless. Every lesson gained along the climb now becomes a lantern for those still ascending. The view from grace is never for pride, it's for guidance. So, breathe deeply. Chosen soul, the horizon ahead is endless, and heaven still walks beside you. The circle closes, but the light keeps moving, rippling outward like a breath through eternity. You've walked through fire, silence, and revelation, and each moment has shaped the architecture of your soul. What began as words has become a living current inside you. Heaven leans close now. When a spirit awakens, even the stars seem to hold their breath. Every step you take from this moment forward will hum with recognition the sound of grace, remembering your name. This is not goodbye. It is continuation. If these words have found a home in your spirit, let your heart respond in its own quiet way. Like this message as one lights a candle in a cathedral, not to be seen, but to say, I have received the light. Each act of agreement sends a shimmer through the unseen, a whisper that heaven always hears. And if another soul comes to mind, someone walking through their own long night, Share this story as if handing them a lantern. Let it travel farther than algorithms. Carried by compassion, glowing softly in another's darkness. If you feel called to keep walking in this current of revelation, to remain within this unfolding river, subscribe. Not to a channel, but to a covenant. It's a quiet yes to growth. A promise to stay near, the voice that reminds you who you are. And before you go, leave a trace of your presence here. Comment something simple, even a single word. Let it be the echo of gratitude. A seed of faith you drop into this soil. Perhaps your small offering will bloom in another heart tomorrow. The journey continues. Luminous Soul. You are not departing the message. You are becoming it. Your light. Your story. Your voice. Each one now, a ripple in the great tide of grace.